Hello people. I'm editing this video and I noticed that just like the last vlog, it is really shaky because I filmed it on my phone and I forgot about it. So I turned on stabilization in DaVinci and it works, but it makes the background really shaky. But at least I'm not really shaky. So I think that's way less nauseating than having me shaking all the time. So this is gonna be it for this clip, but we're gonna make it better, I promise. The power has gone out 4 times today. It is Saturday, April 12th, and every time the power has gone out. I mean, it first went out at 6 a.m. and I was already awake, but it came back quickly. Then I spent the rest of the day up until like 3 with everything alright, and after 3, power went down 3 times, and it always just goes out and then comes back and goes out again, comes back, and it's always right after I turn my PC on. So maybe it's because of me. I mean, I'm sure it's not because of me, but it's pretty annoying. So, and also I'm getting scared to leave my PC on because I don't want it to break or anything. We also have some guys doing some paramedic drill in the park. So every now and then we get ambulance noises going around, but it's all just a drill. I have made my office a bit, I don't know if you can say that it's prettier, but I've organized, changed some things, and it's looking good, in my opinion. So, let me show you. I brought the LEDs down from the pegboard because they wouldn't show up on camera if I turn this way. So, I think it looks better. And I also put some things that I got from my boyfriend, decorations, and this plant that I got from a friend of mine a while ago. And it's so yeah, these are the news for now. I want to take the day to work on my game, but I also already spent it like organizing and all, but I'm gonna do a bit of work in the game, and I also want to play some video games today. Not sure what yet, but my boyfriend is out to a friend's today, so I have the day for myself, and I'm planning to do some me time, which I always have even when my boyfriend's home because we got our own time. We're chill, but you know, I can record and do stuff without bothering him. So yeah. I can never differentiate between syllabic languages when I hear it and see it written. So since the last time we left off with the game, I added a time-based score system, some menus, and also made the platforms spawn in different heights and with different widths, so we have some variety. And the next thing that I wanted to do was to reward some bonus points when the player lands on the platform. And that will be helpful for me because in the future I'll add another mechanic that interacts with that. So I just did a basic get 10 points when you land on any platform thing. And another thing that was bothering me was that the player had no feedback from when the cat actually landed on a platform, because when you're looking at platforms that are coming in and not staring at your character, the jump feels a bit unfair because you don't really know when you're landed, and sometimes you press to jump and the cat doesn't jump, and it was because you hadn't actually landed yet. So I set off on a side quest to add some dust particles for when the cat lands on a platform. So first I tried a particle system that would spawn the particles right at the cat's feet whenever it lands, but that didn't really make any sense. But I mainly tried to do that because I wasn't sure how to call methods in instances of the platforms, and I didn't want to make them subscribe to an event every time I spawn a platform. So I managed to make the particles spawn and stay in place whenever the cat hits the floor, and that was enough of a feedback for now because I wanted to move on to the next thing, which was something that I've been circling around for a few weeks now, that are shaders. I wanted to use shaders to change the platform's colors when I spawn them, but I had never dealt with shaders, not even in Unity, so I had to read all of Godot's documentation on shaders and also do the tutorials and look at a few examples. But the shader that I wanted to do was the most basic of all. So it was simple enough. I used a uniform global to change the platform color every time I spawned it, but always when a new platform would spawn, since I used a global, all of the other platforms would change to that same color. I remember that I read something in the docs about instancing, so I looked that up again and I tried using the set instance shader parameter, but that didn't work. And I was like, why? It even says in the docs that it should work with canvas items shaders, and I was using the canvas items shader. But after a bit of fiddling and research, I noticed that it only works for now with 3D shaders, and my game is in 2D. So what I would need to do was make copies of the material and assign them to each of the instances, or make the material local to the scene, which is what I did. So that worked out perfectly, and now we have the game looking 0.05% better than before. But the landing particles were still making me feel weird, and I wasn't sure why, so I stared at it for a while and tried to figure out what it was. And the thing is that the dust would spawn and stay in place while the platform rolled away and the dust remained midair. So in the end, I had to make the dust particles spawn within the platform hierarchy. And what I ended up doing was just identifying where the cat collides with the platform and sending that position to the platform when I call the method to emit the particles. And voila, much cleaner feedback. So there wasn't a whole lot of progress for this week, but it was progress, and that's what matters. But also, I did other things with my weekend, so I'm happy that I got back to it, and I plan to keep at it. I want to work on the game during the week too, not only on weekends, and finally start adding mechanics that will make it different than just a infinite platformer. So this is the third time that I'm recording this, and I'm gonna leave this here and try to see if I can finally edit it and end the vlog here. So thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.